Okay, let's begin. Welcome, Cricket. Glad you could make it. And Elva's here now too. Nice to see you guys. And Emily from Eugene. Heidi from Bellingham. Thanks for popping in. Great. So let's begin. Yeah, please take a comfortable seat and we're going to get started. I'm really glad to see you. So you can rest your hands in your lap, or if you like, sometimes one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, whatever is comfortable for you. You're welcome to close your eyes. If that helps you to concentrate, if that doesn't help you to concentrate, then just keep your gaze down and kind of fuzzy. And let your attention draw in from whatever the external events have been that pull you away. Let it come in to this central purpose for your practice right now. And you can use the breath to kind of call the senses back home. So for example, on the inhale, you could have a sense you're drawing in the senses, asking them to return to home base. And on the exhale, surrendering anything that would be a distraction for you right now. And I know how compelling those distractions can be. Now, the breath does not have to be very assertive or dynamic right now. For this drawing home process and this surrendering process, the breath could actually be kind of gentle. It's really up to what you're needing. On some days, the breath does need to be more assertive because the senses are like squirrels or wild monkeys. But on other days, you're not that far from home and you can use the breath in a more subtle way to come back to center. And then when the breath feels like it's drawing your senses in, please lengthen up through your spine. Include a gentle lift at the crown of your skull, but also at the upper palate, the roof of your mouth. Lift the base of your skull. Inhabit a little bit more the back of your throat and the bottom of your throat, so we're not pitched forward like on computers. Lift your heart in the center of your chest. Gently let the floating ribs expand on the backside. So in your plumb line, you're not pitched more forward from the kidneys. You're resting in the plumb line. The kidneys are right behind that plumb line. And then root down into your hips and your pelvis and the seat where you find yourself right now. And then with appreciation for the chance to come together, please join your hands at your heart. And we're going to chant Asatoma Satgamaya. You're welcome to follow me. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorama Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorama Amritam Gamaya
Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Please open your eyes. Good. So we're going to begin with the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And my interest right now is really working with us at the level of the 4th and 5th chakra, which then nourishes the 6th chakra. So you'll see some work here in the upper back and heart. So I'm going to ask you to come up to standing with a yoga strap, please. And Susie, we can go to my phone camera. Now for the strap, you can make a loop in that so that the loop lets your hands be shoulder width apart. And I'm going to ask you to take that strap around behind you and place your wrists in there, something like this. Yeah. So when you have the wrists in the strap, then just let the arms relax for a few moments so that they're not active just yet. Place your feet so they're hip distance apart, also so they're parallel. Root down through your tailbone, lift up with your heart, and then squeeze the shoulders back and start reaching the arms towards the wall behind you. Now it's always going to feel easier to reach back with your wrists than it is with your shoulders. So be thoughtful that you are reaching back with your wrists, but more with your shoulders. That's right, yeah. You can give a little bend to the elbows for those of you for whom your elbows tend to hyperextend. It'll put the concentration closer to your shoulders. Squeeze the upper back and squeeze the upper back. If you've been on your computer or on screens today already, you might have gotten into a little habit of flexion for the upper back and then chin forward for the head. So squeeze the upper back right now. Draw the chin in towards the center of your throat and lift the base of your skull. Okay, and then as you exhale, loosen the strap, bend your knees, and come down to a kind of ragdoll position. And let the upper back be like water, like a waterfall. Relax the weight of your head. Take a deep breath in and use the exhale like a sigh or a hum sound. So you inhale through the nose. And then exhale. And let that sound be whatever it is for you. Please do that once more. Inhale through your nose. And then bring your strap with you as you rise up to standing. And I'd like you to take the strap once more behind you. Place your wrists in there. Give it a good strong squeeze. So shoulders back, tiny bend in the elbows, wrists back. And this time, as you stand up tall in your strength, don't look for the biggest back bend in your life right now, especially if you just came from your computer or from work. But I would like you to draw the front ribs in, take the shoulders back, and start the process of just very gently raising your collarbones and the base of your skull. So think of those two as connected. You lift the collarbones, and then lift the base of your skull and the place right behind your earlobes. Raise your gaze slightly up and breathe into the lower abdomen. And then as you exhale this time, bend your knees, keep the strap around your wrists, come forward and down with the torso, and let the arms go overhead, whatever amount they happen to go. Everyone's going to be a little bit different in this regard. Squeeze your shoulders back towards your wrists, lengthen your neck, And bring the shoulder blades towards your hips. Let the body inhale through your nose and then allow yourself to exhale with a sound like a sigh or a hum, or you can use a moan or a groan, really whatever your throat needs to allow for right now. And then you can keep the knees bent as you rise up to standing. Take the strap and catch it in one hand only. Let's take the strap, part of your strap, please. Bring both arms forward and then raise both arms up. Okay, slide your hands away from each other and come down to this beautiful upper back, chest, and shoulder stretch. So this is a very common stretch for us. We've done it for years. And I want to remind you again that as the arms come back like this, you are not pitching forward with your rib cage like this. Okay, so draw the low belly in. Let the spine be upright. It's okay if the hands are a little higher than the shoulders right now. See if we can do it again. Lift the collarbones and the base of your skull, the place right behind your earlobes. Keeping the tailbone anchored, your weight should feel like it's in your heels right now. The toes are important, but the weight is more in your heels than your toes. Good. And then imagine you're standing in water that is the height of your shoulders. And you're just leaning back onto the surface of the water. And breathing in, keep lifting at the base of your skull so the head is not flopping back behind you. And then exhale, loosen your hands, tone your belly, release your arms, and let that come down. And then place your yoga strap aside. Take a wide stance, like the jazz stance warm-up pose, and come down. Great to see you guys. Thanks for being here. I have 3 places to see you. You're in my mirror, on my monitor, you're on a large monitor, and you're on this monitor. So thanks for being here. Press from your inner thighs, please, out into your knees. Bow your head gently. And let's focus now on the breath going from the pelvic bowl into the back, waist, and the kidneys. We're going to use a couple different forms of exhale here. One will be the exhale through the milkshake straw. One will be an exhale through a tiny straw, like a cocktail straw. That'll be silent. And one will be the exhale using the sound of hum. So a reminder that the hum sound is in the back hollow of the throat, low down in the throat to start, and then it will go up to the upper palate and the roof of your mouth. So let's start with the inhale through both nostrils. Again, inhale through both nostrils. Inhale both nostrils. We'll use the straw exhale for the next one. Inhale both nostrils. Inhale both nostrils again, and this time we'll use the tiny cocktail straw exhale. Once more, inhale through both nostrils. Last time. And a silent, tiny straw exhale. And inhale, rise up to standing. Please make your feet parallel and come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. Walk your fingers forward, reach your hips back. And as you bow your head gently, let the ears rest between your upper arms so that you don't bow the head completely. And rather than focusing on any kind of breath practice, listen for the echo of what has happened for your body in just the last 5 or 6 minutes. Invite yourself to become very still here, like you are the maypole around which the ribbons are being thread. You are very still and very stable, even though energy might be moving through you and around you. And then please walk your hands back toward the line of your feet. Once more, reach back and clasp your hands at the small of your back. If your shoulders are difficult for this, reach for your yoga strap, please, and place your wrists inside the strap. And then inhale, please rise up to standing. Release the clasp of your hands and step your feet into mountain pose. And notice what is happening now in this kind of sacred plumb line that you're recalibrating to, coming back home to. Imagine yourself as that very steady maypole. The children get to run around the maypole in both directions with the ribbons, but you can be in the center of the stillness, even if energy, prana, even if thoughts are swirling around you. We're going to step into the sun salutation now, and I'm going to celebrate that Marin finally has 2 blocks, so we're going to use 2 blocks for the sun salutation. And there'll be one way that we'll use the blocks that'll be unusual, perhaps a little bit different, and otherwise it'll be familiar. And I'm going to practice something with you where, let's say we're in warrior 2, so I'm just showing the arm part here, and I ask you to bring your back arm forward to reach it past your front arm. I'm going to be asking you to do the movement in the upper back and chest, not from your hips or your pelvis. So when those requests come, try to sense it's the responsibility of the upper back, and in some cases the mid back and the lower back. It's not the duty of the pelvis to compensate there. Okay, so please step to the front of your mat and join your hands together at your heart. And stand at the very front of the heels, the back of the arches, and see if you can line up from there up into the upper palate. So from the center of the front of the heels up to the upper palate, and then to the crown of your skull. And then when you next inhale, use your Ujjayi breath, please. Sweep your hands down, wide and up, and look up. Now we'll make a little back bend, so lift your collarbones, lift the base of your skull, and lift the place just behind your earlobes. So the head doesn't flop backwards like a stuffed animal or a puppy dog. And then exhale, pull upright, hands to your heart, come down, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide your heart forward. And exhale, step back with your left toes. Plant your left toes firmly. Inhale, rise up to your crescent lunge. So in the crescent lunge, let's play with the upper back and the heart. We're going to imagine that we're like seaweed in the ocean. And in this case, the seaweed is moving from the heart, the arms, the shoulders, and the eyes. So keeping your floating ribs stable. When you exhale, pull the torso very slightly forward, like this. When you inhale, allow for the gentle opening and rocking of the upper heart, collarbones, eyes, base of your skull. Exhale, pull gently forward. Inhale to open. Exhale gently forward, so there's a consistent movement. It's not like we're stopping, a little bit like being on the swing set, where you sense there's the high point of the swinging back, a moment of suspension, and then there's that high point on the swing where we swing forward, and there's a moment of suspension. But each part of the swing is related to the other. And the next time you exhale to reach forward, go ahead and reach forward, bow your torso over your right thigh without collapsing on it. Notice the strength of the right hip. And then lightly touch the two blocks. Inhale your left foot forward. And exhale the right foot back. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Lift your pubic bone, raise your arms. And working with your breath cycle, on the inhale, the seaweed gently glides back. And exhale, gently come forward. Inhale to open. Lift your collarbones, the base of your skull, your eyes. Exhale to gently glide forward. Try to picture yourself actually in the water. The movement is kind and rhythmic. And it's your own. It's your own ocean, right? And the next time that you're going to exhale to bow forward, reach over your left thigh. Take the arms with you like two arrows. Notice the strength of your left hip. And then lightly touch the two blocks. And let's use them for downward dog pose. Please step backwards. There's your in-breath. Let's exhale, come forward to plank pose. Now push into both arms, both hands, and both blocks. And on the exhale, lower your knees very lightly down to table pose. And then inhale, bring your heart forward to cow pose. Exhale to table pose, press into both arms, sweep your low belly in, broaden your back waist. Inhale to cow pose. Take your time moving between the two positions so you can sense how the heart is a part of the process. So table pose, the spine's level, cow pose, the heart's coming forward. Twice more. And once more. Okay, cow pose. And now glide your tailbone forward, slide your shoulders back, and start melting the heart forward and down to cobra pose with your hands on your blocks. Keeping the shoulders lifted away from the floor. Now we're going to inhale, lift the base of your skull, roll up to cobra. It's a high cobra. And exhale, roll down, shoulders back, heart forward. Gaze down. And then inhale to roll up, cobra, a high cobra. And exhale to glide down. You are using the strength of your triceps here and the back of your shoulders. One more time, inhale to roll up. And exhale to glide down. Now, press into both hands, find your knees, draw the low belly in, and press back up to table pose. And if that was hard to do, we have to work on your upper body strength. Let's step into plank pose. And then inhale backwards, downward facing dog. Okay, with your exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Okay, pivot your left heel and rise up, warrior two. And here's what I was talking about earlier. So in warrior two now, I'd like you to do this. Keep the lower hemisphere of the pose very stable. And as you inhale, reach your left arm forward as if you're going to take it past your right arm. And then exhale, pull the left elbow back like you're pulling on the bow and arrow. Inhale, reach it wide and forward. Exhale to pull back. So keep your hips stable, keep your legs stable. Inhale, wide and forward. And exhale, pull your elbow back, reach your arm back. Once more, inhale, wide and forward. Good. And then exhale, pull your elbow back, reach and open the chest and the heart. And then exhale, windmill your arms down, touch the two blocks, please. Step backwards, downward facing dog. And then step your left foot forward between your hands, pivot your right heel, rise up to your warrior two. When you rise up, now we're going to use the arms similar. So on the inhale, glide your right arm to reach forward past your left. And then exhale, pull back, reach wide. Inhale, circle around. And exhale, pull the elbow back, reach your arm back. Inhale, reach wide and come forward. And exhale, draw back. Everything is stable in the pose. So the moving part here is your upper back, your thoracic spine, mid back, of course, too. And then exhale and windmill yourself down to your two blocks. I'll change, so I'm going down with you. And then please step your left foot forward to meet your right foot, whichever one it is. I had to be backwards there because I was mirroring and then not mirroring. So take a deep bow in Uttanasana. Energize your legs. And now inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Lift your heart, lift your collarbones, lift the base of your skull right behind your earlobes. Take a little standing back bend. And then exhale, come into your heart. Now we're going to put those together and we're going to use triangle pose with these two blocks in an unusual manner. So please follow me. Inhale, raise your arms. Nice job, thank you. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward, broaden the upper part of your shoulder blades, reach to the crown of your skull. Exhale, take your left toes back. Turn the block under your right hand up high and straighten your legs. Now, with the block under your right hand higher than the left, I'd like you to press into both hands. Your upper back is uneven here. Okay, inhale, press into a kind of cat pose for your spine. And then exhale, bring the heart forward to cow pose. I know the arms are asymmetrical here. Okay, inhale to cat pose. And exhale to cow pose for the upper back. Let's do that again. Inhale to cat. Notice the asymmetry in your upper back and your thoracic spine. And exhale to cow pose, bringing your heart forward. Now we're going to go to cat pose as our entrance into triangle pose. So bring into your cat pose a really strong parachute on the back body. And then before picking up either hand, turn your left heel down, roll your left hip back. Imagine the space from your right heel to your left hip getting longer. But keep your left hand on the block. So you really have to stretch the left hemisphere of the back body to keep your left hand grounded. And then press into your right arm for strength and rotate your low belly, your mid belly, your chest, your heart. Raise your left arm and keeping everything stable now. Everything from the rib cage to the heels stable. Let's invite the top arm to improvise, to explore. So you're working hard. You deserve a little freedom here, a little creativity. So listen in to your own body. Noticing how the heart, your throat, your head, how they want to explore. While you keep your feet, your legs, your pelvis, and even the low belly and low back, mid back stable. And then with your next exhale, try keeping the legs as they are, please, and your right arm straight and strong, and bring the left arm down slowly, slowly towards that block. It might feel like it's kind of far away. You have to find the length of your low back, mid back, upper back, then the left hand to the block. Pivot your left heel up, place the right block down, and step backwards to downward dog pose, please. And notice how your dog pose feels differently, having been in your asymmetrical triangle pose. Yeah, good job. So from this downward dog pose, we are going to come forward again to plank, and we'll use table and cow pose just a couple times. So inhale, pull yourself forward to plank pose, gaze down between your thumbs. And then exhale, very lightly touch your knees down. Keep the arms steady and the back of the heart broad. So table pose is not cat pose, but it's also not an old horse in the field pose. Let's inhale to cow, bring the heart forward. And exhale to table. Inhale to cow. Lift the base of your skull in cow pose. Gaze forward. Exhale to table. Once more, inhale to cow pose. Delicately bring your heart forward, collarbones wide, lift the base of your skull. And then exhale and start bringing your tailbone down. Melt the heart forward, shoulders back. Here's cobra pose. And then inhale, roll up, cobra pose, like a high cobra with the two blocks. And exhale, roll down like a low cobra, but the shoulders stay back towards the elbows. Inhale, roll up. And exhale to roll down. Now find your kneecaps. Press them down, tone your low belly, and press up to table. And then to plank. And then to downward facing dog. Okay, with your exhale, float your left foot forward between your hands. Okay, turn the block under your left hand up tall and straighten both legs. The back heel can be lifted for now, so we really have the hips pretty square to the floor, and that means that the asymmetries are going to feel mostly in the upper back. Let's inhale to cat pose. And now exhale to cow pose. Send the heart forward, lift the base of your skull, gaze forward. And inhale to cat. Press down to the strength of both arms. Broaden the upper back like a parachute. And exhale to cow. Slide the heart forward, collarbones forward, gaze forward. And once more, inhale to cat. Now keeping this cat pose very strong and both hands on the blocks, start turning your right heel down to the floor behind you. Notice what is required here. As you just start to turn the pelvis to your right. Lengthen your left inner leg to your heel. And then keeping your left arm very strong, begin the process of rotating your pelvis with your right arm dangling. The right arm is not a lead in the pose. Rotate the pelvis and your low belly. And then the mid belly and the rib cage. And then your heart. And then the right arm. And keeping all things stable from your floating ribs down to your heels. Let the upper part of your triangle pose improvise. Listen in for where your intuition tells you how would your body most like to move. What's happening with your heart, your throat, your eyes. And then as you start the process of coming back down, let's try to keep as much of triangle pose as you can and start reaching your right arm back towards that block. Go slow enough that it actually feels like the block is kind of far away and hard to reach. And as your right hand comes down, the pose is still asymmetrical. Good, then pick up your right heel. Make the block symmetrical once more. And let's step the right foot forward to meet the left foot, please. Enjoy a deep bow towards your legs. And then inhale, sweep your arms wide, rise up, upward hands pose. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. And pause right there to listen, as if you were the maypole around which the ribbons are being thread. And your job is to be steady. And then please release both hands. Okay, and I'm going to ask you to watch here for how we're going to set up for the chair that I asked you to bring for class. And you will need 2 blankets. Some of you will benefit from 3 blankets, but we will do with what you have. And you'll make decisions that are nourishing for you. I take these 2 blankets. At the yoga studio, the storage fold is different than at home. So I'm going to open this from the storage fold so it looks like this. There's my first blanket. Open the second blanket from the storage fold, it looks like this. You stack them together and lay them down in front of the chair like this. Okay, so the shoulders are going to be here on the blanket. And the head is going to be here on the floor. Your feet will be on that chair right there. So I would like you to watch the setup so that you have some confidence about what you're doing. And I have confidence for you too. So I'm going to lie down on my side, facing the same direction as the chair.
And that's an important thing because this is like the easiest way to get into the pose. When I lie down, I want my right shoulder to land here. So I do this. There's the right shoulder and the left shoulder. And I'm close enough to my chair that my hips are a tiny bit underneath the chair and my shoulders are here at the blanket. Now, for some of you who are taller than I am, your blanket should go a little further back from your chair because otherwise, like I can reach the chair legs now because of the length of my arm here. But for some of you, your arms are longer and your torso and legs are longer, so you go a little further back to start. And please watch here. You tuck the shoulders under. We keep the back of the neck long and we go up and place the feet. This is like a high version of bridge pose. So the work we've been doing in your shoulders, in your upper back, in the chest and the heart comes to this pose today. And of course, bridge pose on the floor is a completely fine substitute. Yesterday we did bridge pose with our feet on a block, each foot on one block. That is also fine right now. But if you do have access to a chair and you do have 2 blankets and you'd like to explore this, please do not turn your head when you're in the pose. So I will not turn to look at you and you will not turn to look at me when you're doing the pose. And whether you choose bridge pose on the floor or bridge pose with feet on blocks or bridge pose with 2 blankets and a chair, whatever the choice is, press your upper arms firmly down and use your shoulder blades to lift your heart to open the front chest. And then take a few more breath cycles there so that when you're ready to come down, you feel like you've simmered a little bit. And the coming down process is that you roll the spine down vertebrae by vertebrae. If you're using the chair and the blankets, you're going to roll down and then scoot just slightly back on those blankets so that your shoulders are coming towards the floor. And you can keep your feet on the front of the chair, the knees bent. Invite your body to relax very deeply right there. Now we're going to repeat that pose once more. So if you just use the floor, you're ready to go. If you use the 2 blocks, place your feet again. If you're using the blanket and the chair, you have to scoot once more into position and roll yourself thoughtfully. Hold the legs of the chair. Scoot the shoulders under. And step up without turning your head to the side. We don't turn the head in bridge pose in any variation of bridge pose, nor in shoulder stand. It's okay to have your breath feel simple. Right now, just a simple breath. Use the strength of the shoulders to press down towards the blankets or the mat, whichever pose you're doing. Lengthen your tailbone towards your knees, whichever pose you're doing. So the butt is not the highest reaching point in the pose. The heart should feel like it has the most lift, the most responsibility. Of course, the knees are higher than the heart, but the lift should feel like it's coming from the heart, not from squeezing your butt too much. Yes, the butt is toned.
And then start the process of lowering your hips down. So if you're in bridge pose on the floor, you roll down one vertebrae at a time. If you use the two blocks, you also roll down one vertebrae at a time. If you've been on the chair, you can take the arms overhead and you scooch back until the shoulders just come off the back side of the blanket. Keep your knees to your chest and your feet on the front of the chair. And then roll to your side, and I'll show you the setup for Shavasana. Thank you for your efforts on that. We're going to take one blanket for Shavasana, and I'd like you to take it like this and roll it. Rolling about halfway. You don't need the chair. And if you have a sandbag, or you have 12 pounds of rice, you can use that too. So we're going to go like this. You can watch here. So the blanket roll is for the neck. And what I'd like you to do with the blanket roll, you'll stretch the legs out and get everything set. You take the sandbag, and this, I want this to go across the low part of your pelvis and your thighs. So it's not on the abdomen where you need to have the freedom to breathe, it's on the thighs like this. And then you take the blanket roll, and you give yourself a little bit of traction. You got this blanket roll just the size that your body wants it to be. Give a little traction to the neck. So I'm pulling on my blanket right now. And you can practice giving that little bit of traction. So you're actually pulling on the blanket, but let the breath become really soft inside the body. Deeply relax your eyes and your tongue. The traction that you're giving right there at the base of the skull should feel like it has the chin just come very slightly down towards your throat. And then release your arms from that assignment for traction. Take the arms out. And bring your awareness down to the back of your heels. Let the heels become very heavy against the floor, as if you were lying in the warm sand at the beach, and the heels are making tiny indents in the sand. Visualize your heels getting heavier. And the back of the Achilles resting into the warm sand at the beach. Allow the calves to be heavy. So even at the beach, the warm sand would show the shape of the calves releasing to the ground beneath you. As you gaze down towards the lower legs, you can say to yourself, my heels and ankles and both calves are warm and heavy. and deeply relaxed. I am at ease. My heels and ankles and calves are warm and heavy and deeply relaxed. You may say to yourself, I am at ease. Now allow the thighs to deeply relax. So the backs of your knees, the backs of your thighs. If you were resting at the warm sand at the beach, we could see the thighs making a gentle indent in the sand. You can say to yourself, my feet and calves, knees and thighs are warm and heavy and profoundly relaxed. And say to yourself, I am at ease. And then allow your hips and your pelvis to rest more deeply into the floor, as if you were at the warm sand at the beach. Inside the hip sockets, down low at the pelvis. Allow there to be tremendous ease. And you can say to yourself, my feet and calves, knees and thighs, and hips and pelvis are warm and heavy and deeply relaxed. I am at ease. My feet and calves, and knees and thighs, and hips and pelvis are warm and heavy and deeply relaxed. I am at ease. And then bring this awareness into the mid-torso, pelvic bowl, abdomen, floating ribs. And imagine here this deep restoration that all of the organs know, the abdomen, the muscles, the bones. They can be profoundly heavy with relaxation. You can say to yourself, my feet and legs
hips and abdomen are warm and heavy and deeply relaxed. I am at ease. And come up to the heart and the chest, your shoulders, arms, hands and fingers. And imagine here also the heart is warm and heavy, the arms limp with relaxation. And you can say to yourself, my feet and legs, my hips and torso, heart and arms are warm and heavy and deeply relaxed. I am at ease. And without disturbing your body, reach up just to remove the blanket roll from under your neck. And then let the head rest and notice the warmth that will begin to come into the base of the skull and the back of your neck. Right there, you can have the physical sensation of that warmth coming into the back of your neck and up to the base of the skull. And without disturbance or distraction, then please quietly roll to your side, keep the head heavy. But when you come up to sit for meditation, try to sense the base of the skull as a part of your posture for meditation. And just sense how the blanket has supported this postural recommendation where a meditative state happens as the mind bows gently towards the heart, the brainstem feels relieved, the throat is gently inward, and you sense this inner plumb line within you. And with deep respect, this plumb line has a quality of inner silence and stillness, at the same time an inner sense of fullness and connection to all that is, all that has been, and all that will be. And please bring your hands together at your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. And my hope is that you feel really quiet right now, that you have a sense of your own deep indwelling refuge, where you can be a refuge for yourself.